accountable and practices accountability. I don't talk about it here, then I do something else. People will wonder and say, she talked about integrity, but now see where she is. Integrity helps us to fight corrupt tendencies. It helps us to build trust, which is vital in both personal and professional relationships. And in leadership, integrity is what distinguishes between the great leaders and those who are mediocres. It is the line between the great leaders and the mediocres. Those with integrity inspire and motivate others. They motivate. Are we able to inspire one another? And the third D is about determination. Because when you look at discipline, we're looking at aspects of self-respect, humility, which also improves it. You have that dream to achieve your personal aspirations in life. Desire follows looking at things from a wider perspective. When you sit there, do you see your future? What kind of future are you dreaming about? You look at things from a wider perspective. It's a driver to unwavering success. You see, when you focus your attention to the future and say, me, I want to be that person who will be helping others in the field in future. And you begin to work towards that. And it surely comes to pass. You need to have the determination. And the determination is a willing spirit. A willing spirit does not give up along the way. It calls for hard work. The results should speak for themselves in all the circumstances. It calls for hard work. It calls for perseverance. It calls for resilience. And with hard work, the sky will always be the limit. I told you I didn't apply for any job. When I finished law school, a lecturer of mine called Honorable Jacob Olanya, may his soul rest in peace, told me, but you write very good assignments. You do very good research. My wife is looking for a researcher. So he connected me to his wife, Dorothy. And Dorothy led me to an organization called African Rights. Now, just university, and you're walking out and you're already a consultant, a researcher who is earning lots of money every day. Here I go with 50,000 Uganda shillings, every day 50,000 Uganda shillings, a short time. And in 6 months, when the project was winding up, I was already driving, and my colleagues were still on the streets that they're looking for jobs. Me, I had a job already. And then I was called back to the Uganda Human Rights Commission where I had done my clerkship. That, are you willing to volunteer? Your legal opinions were very good. And so I went to the Uganda Human Rights Commission and I became the first volunteer in the Uganda Human Rights Commission. And while working hard, doing well-researched legal briefs and opinions, within 2-3 months, the commission sat and said, this volunteer here, let us make her. They did not need to advertise. They had value and quality within the institution. And even as a research assistant, I didn't last long. I asked myself, how can I be the best? And I continued doing things with hard work, attention to detail. I wrote the best papers. Within some time, commissioners began struggling for me. I want her to be my personal assistant. No, she should be my research assistant. Let her come and work with me. People were struggling for me. You yourself, do you see yourself people struggling to work with you? Now, when people begin to struggle for you, then you know that, I think they value me. I think I'm needed. I think I'm wanted. I think my work is good. So I was, because they were fighting and struggling for me within headquarters, I was posted to Gulu as a research assistant. I didn't last long there. I became a human rights officer. I was promoted to senior human rights officer. ranks up to the level of director, legal services in acting capacity. The only position remaining for me was the one which required a presidential appointment in the Uganda Human Rights Commission. And while there, I was headhunted where they say, there is quality in the other organization. There is someone called so-and-so who knows how to work better. So I was headhunted and I found myself in the Directorate for Ethics and Integrity under Office of the President. And I worked as Principal Legal Officer. I did not even last there long. I decided to work hard to write the best policy papers, to guide those behind me and mentor them into better legal officers and senior legal officers. I prepared documents which caused my ministers and PS to go to cabinet and excel there. At one point, they now started going with me also to cabinet. Can you imagine? You begin addressing senior, the la cream of leadership in the country, while you're still young at a certain level. Friends, when you work hard, your results only show and speak for themselves. Today, I hear people talking about connections. Network is very, very significant. But networking without hard work, no one wants to network with laziness, hard work, and distinctiveness. In the Directorate for Ethics, I did not last long. I skipped at the level of assistant commissioner and commissioner. I was never a commissioner or assistant commissioner. But from principal legal, I found myself director legal services. Director legal services. Now, if you know the hierarchy of government, directorship is really a big position. Because a director, you're given a big car, you have a driver, you work with comfort and move with comfort. But I chose not to get confused by the comfort. I did not allow the comfort to interfere with my work with excellence. You remember Daniel and his friends? They chose not to eat the food from the king's table and they went vegetarian. And because they did that, they were even brighter, they were brilliant, they even looked more handsome and continued to work with excellence. From the Directorate for Ethics and Integrity, I was headhunted again. I did not apply. I was taken to the Ministry of Works and Transport. They said I was policy and legal advisor. And I was like, God, as policy and legal advisor, how can I be the best policy and legal advisor this institution has had? God, I think you see that the Ministry of Works is one of the biggest ministries we have in this country. I even told God, you see me, I did not even study transport laws while at law school. And I got wisdom from heaven above, still around hard work. I would go to office very early and read. I consulted with colleagues. And I'm told I wrote the best policy papers in the Ministry of Works. I initiated policies like the road tolling policy. We established the standard gauge railway. I gave guidance to UNRA. I did their policy papers as well. Civil Aviation Authority, I drafted their amendment bill of the CAA. We established the national airline as part of the task force. We saw that airline come. We drafted its business and implementation plan. And today I'm proud. When I see the planes flying, I'm like, that is mine. Because I contributed to that. And friends, in the Ministry of Works, I did not take a long time. It was barely 2 years when I had a rumor that now I'd been appointed a commission member at the Uganda Human Rights Commission. I was like, God, wait a moment. Are you taking me on reverse? Isn't that where I started from? Then I remembered, hey, there was a position which required presidential appointment. So my going back was to fulfill that position. So I then organized myself and I was sworn in, I took on oath, and sat in the office of Commissioner Human Rights as a commission member. I still asked God, how can I be the best commission member this institution has had? I looked at my schedule of duties. I was supposed to be presiding over tribunal hearings. And I was like, well, I think I should be one of the best. I should write my decisions well thought through. This whole thing of relying heavily on personal assistants to do for me research when I still have a young brain and mind, I decided to do my own decisions. I did wide research. I went for my tribunals. My colleagues, they would pay us for circuit hearings. Some of my colleagues would sign for the money for 2 weeks, and they just go and adjourn and go back in their comforts. For me, I made sure I went, if it meant going to Karamoja, I went and camped there and did my hearings. I came to Fort Portal here. I did my hearings. I went to Gulu, Mbarara. I went all over the country, did my hearings, wrote my decisions, and ensured that each decision was properly bound, and started following up with the Minister of Justice to ensure that even the decisions I made, their words were being paid. Friends, I did not last 2.5 years in the Uganda Human Rights Commission. One morning, I just got a call. I received a call from His Excellency, the President, saying, you're doing a very good job, but I want to give you a big job. I thought I was dreaming. I was like, me? But this country has excellent people who can serve in that capacity. But a big job, this job I have is also big. A commission member, I have a driver, I have a bodyguard, I do tribunals. I'm enjoying this job. What big job is this? So after 2 weeks, I got to learn that I had been appointed Deputy Inspector General of Government. I am telling you this story not because I'm bringing swag here and posing around, but I want you to take the lessons from it. Hard work with resilience and perseverance, paying attention to detail. When you work hard, your results speak for themselves. You don't have to be connected. That I'm connected, I know so and so, I will lobby. It doesn't work like that. When you have the fear of the Lord, it is the beginning of wisdom. The Lord will guide you. You will work hard. You will excel. You will come out with distinctiveness. And everybody will see and know that surely this is a child of God. As I conclude, I would like to advise you to use your knowledge acquired in the university and ethical values coupled with integrity, transparency, accountability, to fight corruption. How do you fight corruption as a student? Because corruption affects service delivery. Corruption reduces public expenditure. Corruption reduces government revenues. Today you've heard about stories of taxes. Corruption depletes national wealth and reduces the tax revenue. Don't forget to trust in God. Do not forget to trust in God. Because remember, God is a hard-working God. He created the story of 7 days. He rested on the 7th. He created, he worked very hard, and he's busy watching over us and giving us guidance and wisdom every day. So the power of hard work and networking. Networking creates a very critical role for job opportunities. There are many jobs we do not have to advertise these days. Recently, we advertised in office for just 25 positions. And we received close to 5,000 applicants. We subjected them to aptitudes and shortlisting. Out of 5,000, we then had about 150 for orals. Do you know how many days we had to sit to interview those people? And the costs involved? We are looking for people with integrity, people who are hardworking, people who work with distinctiveness, people who have the fear of God and are trusted, people who have honesty. Networking helps you have access to hidden job market because you realize that a significant portion of jobs today are never advertised because it's costly It helps students to tap into the hidden jobs where you do internship. Do you have a heart to volunteer? Can you work with distinctiveness when the opportunity avails itself? Networking helps us to build relationships. It allows you to build meaningful relationships with professionals. Like now, because I've been to the Pentecostal University today, if someone from Pentecostal University came to my office and told me, I want you to be my mentor, I want you to guide me in these areas, do you think I would chase you away? So networking helps to provide insights into mentorship, into coaching, because I would also be proud and happy to see the next Deputy IGG coming from Pentecostal University. Networking helps us to learn about industries and roles, and also to gain better understanding about what is out there in the field, about the job roles and responsibilities, even about the career path. Networking helps to enhance visibility. It helps us get inside information about institutions and organizations. It helps us even to get recommendations and referrals. I had to leave everything I had to do early in the morning and concentrated on recommending somebody to the Rhodes Nelson Mandela Scholarship, South Africa, for a master's. Said, this student must get this opportunity. And indeed, the student got the opportunity. There are times we have to do referral letters, saying, you know, I know this person, I have mentored this person, I have taught this person, I have seen this person walk the journey from student to intern to job seeker. I've seen this student, I know his character, and we attest to that. So networking is very good, even for personal and professional recommendations. So as I conclude, Romans chapter 12, verses 1 to 2 says, God persuades the wicked to turn away from their evil ways and stop conforming to worldliness, but being transformed in their hearts. Even St. Paul refused to condone corruption because he wanted to do the will of God. It is therefore important to note that there are no secrets to success. It is a result of preparation, of hard work, and also learning from failure. Because even us who are seen today as senior leaders, we have made mistakes, but we learn from failure. Remember, I said the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and righteousness and truth are the foundations of the throne of God. So if we set ourselves apart and we lead our lives with distinctiveness and the fear of the Lord, there is absolutely nothing impossible with God. So I would like to thank you for listening to me, for inviting me, and I wish you God's blessing as we continue with the career engagements with you. And I'm looking forward, Vice Chancellor, to coming back here because I have seen opportunities here. So may God bless you all. Have yourselves a fruitful and blessed day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our dear guest of honor, the Deputy Inspector General of Government. And I hope you have really learned a lot today. Yes. So, like we had said earlier on, I had asked the students to send in their questions, and we received some questions from the students regarding to the different guest speakers. And I think my co-moderator is we are going to first read through the questions, all of them, then we shall give a chance to the guest speakers to respond to them.
Thank you so much. I have two questions with me. The first one is directed to Godfrey. And the question is, you talk about having faith amid its challenges, but of recent have been struggling with the faith. because I keep failing even though I do a lot of praying and hard work. That is the first question. And then the second one is directed to Dr. Achan. The person is saying, the speakers have talked about connection, and this person has masters, and is asking if possible, you connect us to people who can give us bursaries and scholarship for PhD. Thank you.
Okay, let me read the next question. It is addressed to Mr. Wilfred, the PRO of UBC. A student asks, help me understand that professional bodies, help me understand what professional bodies are. Then it's not clear here. Help me understand, yes, how I can navigate my interest in cyber law with a Uganda that has not fully accepted AI and technology. So the next question is, help me understand how I can expand my social capital. Those are for Mr. Wilfred. Then there is one for Mr. Innocent. A student asks, you mentioned that education is a channel through which people worldwide have succeeded. We all know jobs are less and many pay minimum wage. How would you advise me who wants to start a business while I study? Should I drop the work or just focus on education? If it's balancing, how do I do it? Yes, those are the ones I have so far. Maybe there is another question from the administration, one of the admin.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Chan, Engineer Onyero, Mr. Wilfred, thank you. My question is sort of goes out to all three of you. My name is Trevor Karugonjo. I'm asking in capacity as a lecturer, but I'm also a student somewhere. Dr. Chan, you mentioned how our society is becoming degenerated. From that, what I picked is that our society has a predefined trajectory. There are certain things which you're expected to do. For example, from senior 6 to get higher education, after higher education probably to get a job, to get married, after getting married to have a grandchild or whatever it may be. Combined with Engineer Onyero, yours was more spiritual. Now, in the spiritual perspective, I'm also a Christian, by the way. And I like the fact that you mentioned God is in your heart. I had some people giggling. But God is in your heart, and that is it's between you and God. But what I learned from Christianity is that work is something that makes a difference. Not necessarily a payroll, or a prestigious car, or a bodyguard. Okay? No offense, Dr. Patricia. Mr. Wilfred, you mentioned you have never been fired and never been hired. Now, when I put all of those three together, considering the trajectory we take in our society, and also as a teacher, how best do we guide our students to seek out for what they love or what they can do? Even me as a student. I'll give you 3 examples. When I was at university, I had a friend who was sent to do engineering. His father was an engineer and he insisted you have to do engineering. But when we graduated, he went into flowers. So he makes wreaths, he does Valentine's Day flowers, birthday flowers. He's a qualified engineer, first class. But from his business, he grosses about 140 million per annum. Number 2, I had someone talking, one of the questions was from the students about how do I leave my business and study. 2 examples here. I've seen 2 young ladies who are studying. One has gone into, can I call it welfare? She does canteen and soft drinks. Another one does a laundrette. So they're earning, but also studying. Now, how do we guide our students between professionalism, someone has asked about professional bodies, and making a living and doing actually what you love. Thank you.
I think before we get to answering those questions, there is one more that has just come in to Mr. Innocent Kawoya. Somebody's asking, how best can I join the Women in FinTech Hackathon since I'm a feminist? So let us start from Mr. Innocent. Or let us start from actually the chief guest.
Thank you very much. I'll begin with the one on connection. You rightly asked about connections for people, for bursaries and scholarships and for PhDs and so on. I will begin by telling you my story. Personally, I didn't have a first-class degree from Makerere, neither did I have an upper second, but I had a lower second. And each time I applied for a master's, I would get regrets. I got so many regrets. Each time I would apply, a regret would come because you remember about the competition. But I have a friend who is a namesake to Karugonjo. She's called Dr. Karugonjo, Roslyn, a sister. His sister. Hey, what a blessing. Okay. Dr. Karugonjo recommended me. She had been my friend right from law school, and she handed over to me, and you know, we mentored, we started our student leadership quite early at law school, and she recommended me to the University of Pretoria, where she had just finished. And because of that connection, they knew this is a former student recommending, I was automatically given a place for my master's, and I went there and did my master's in law in human rights and democratization, a similar course she had done. Because of that connection. A few years down the road, I decided to hang in there and started doing my PhD as well. I recommended her to do her PhD in the same university where she had recommended me to do my master's. So I think you can see that connection. But also, it's important for you to take advantage of what is online, because universities have their websites and the opportunities are available. But remember, they're very, very competitive. They would want someone to recommend you from the academia and someone to recommend you, someone who knows you very, very well. So if we have started this mentorship journey together, and I know you very well, I don't think anything would be an obstacle. But go out of your way and look for those opportunities. From your professors, from your lecturers, through different universities, I know you can get those opportunities. And another thing, connections. When you have connections, when applying for these bursaries and scholarship, they play a very, very crucial role, especially in increasing your chances of securing financial support for your education. So I encourage you to continue leveraging connections strategically, which can help you access valuable resources, especially for support and guiding you throughout the application process. There are some application forms which are so lengthy, and they need a lot more information about you, just to know exactly your background, what you have been doing, how you have been within the university, were you a student leader. So I encourage you also to be leaders, to make yourselves relevant wherever you go, because some of the small things you do while in the student life can also have a very big contributory effect. Like when I said I was a vice chairperson of the Christian Union Fellowship, and I was organizing secretary for Makerere Law Society. Those were big, big things when applying for those scholarships, because they know that someone is coming who has got leadership potential and will be able to make a positive contribution in this environment or society when he or she joins. So thank you very much. That was over from
me. Somebody asked a question that he or she is praying and she's not getting any results. Yeah. Let me be sincere with you. When you cook food in your own house, you are not going to use or to eat that food from the saucepan. You will have to put it in the what? In a plate. And if the plate is not clean, what do? You have to clean it. Now, to go to the heart, make sure your heart is clean. Forgive those who have hurt you. Stop telling lies. Stop confusing the population. Stop being an agent of all the crooks. Okay? The deputy IGG talked about being straight and clean and clear. Let me tell you, if you are not clear, all your prayers will not reach God. Here you are telling lies here, and then you rush to your heart that God, I want ABCD, but you have not cleared your heart. You have your enemies. You have been fighting with your own brothers and sisters because of a piece of land. And you are going to, some of us even go to pray so that I defeat my brother, I take away that land from him. That is not going to work. You are closing your blessings. Just clean your heart. Be free. Even if they are creating allegations about you, get it out of you. Say, I am not that. And then go to your heart. God will respond to you. And prayer and hard working. Let me be sincere with you. God help those who help themselves. Okay? I mean this. The moment you start getting into your heart, let me say you have a garden and maybe you want to plant maize. You are not going to sit in the house, start praying that let the maize grow, yet you have not planted it. That is a lie. God is not going to do it that way. You must get up, go to the field, plant, and then talk to God. I have done my part, now do the rest. Okay? That is the meaning of God help those who help themselves. Okay? Hard working must be there. Whether you like it or not, you must do something. There is a story I was told by a friend of mine in Israel. He said they used to have a very faithful person within the society. That person would go to the Wailing Wall every morning, lunchtime, and in the evening. For 30 years, he has been doing that, asking God to help him win a lottery. Then the angels one day approached God and said, but God, this man, for 30 years, he has been here asking you so that he can win a lottery. God said, what miracle am I going to do? He has never bought a lottery ticket. How can he win? So do something and then you will see what God will do to you. Don't just sit there because the engineer has said, I should touch my heart so that I can get something. No. Touch your heart, get to the field. Amen? And don't use your heart to fight another one. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, and our chief guest. Thank you for speaking to hard work again. I have about 3 questions to answer, and one of them was asked to my friend Wilfred. I'm not Wilfred. My name is Innocent Kaoya. Apologies, I didn't say my name, I think, when I was speaking. But Wilfred is right there in blue. Wilfred, please people should see you and know who the Wilfred is. So he will talk about the professional side of the question that was asked. But let me respond to the three. I'll start with the professor, Trevor. Is Trevor Kalgunja, right? Yeah, sorry, I have to call him professor. Professionally, lecturers are supposed to be called professors for some reason. So I'll start with him just to observe protocol, not ignoring or disrespecting any other. Well, balancing between the education we are offering and the opportunities that there is in the market. I'll give you a few examples that directly relate with me. I was in January appointed chairperson of the Gender and Inclusive Finance Working Group at the Bank of Uganda. But like you heard Dr. Patricia saying, still like I said, I was never hired and I'd never get fired. They looked for me somehow, and someone really was saying I should be the chairperson. And when we went for voting and in the board that was supposed to decide, still it was supposed to be obvious that I was supposed to be chair, because I had worked through some channel and I was qualifying by any means. But you also heard Dr. Patricia say she's still studying after having a PhD. I had a very well-educated auntie who passed away in COVID. She had 2 PhDs. And she kept on sharing with us every link of whatever professional opportunity that there is for education. But she knew in Uganda there are people they call Bairibi, hustlers. She knew that I am the headmaster of hustlers. She knew very well that any day, any time I would pick on working so hard to do whatever I feel like I can do. And not forgetting that I have to learn, because there is a lot of changes that happen in our environment, even as we are here today. There are so many of the decisions you've been making that are already changing because you've heard something being said. So, dear lecturers, please, as you train everyone, I think I would propose to the VC that on top of the thesis that people are supposed to write, you task every one of the students from year 1 to have an assignment they do in the community, so that at the end of the 3 years or 4 years of their degree, they're also able to report on some progress made in serving. So serving can be the one who is selling flowers, can be one who is leading an activity in community. Serving can be one who started a business and it is making the 140 million gross revenue every single year. And they are using the knowledge that they are acquiring, whether in law or medicine or anything, to actually better serve. I mean, when I said that stay in school, I might be a bad and a good example of stay in school, because I personally dropped out from university 3 times. And why I dropped out was because I was being taught things that I didn't like. But it didn't mean that I didn't complete school. But whenever I dropped out, I looked for an opportunity that could suit what I wanted to study. And up to today, I am still in the same phase of acquiring formal education. Why? The 20 years I've spent at High People, I have learned of so many informal ways of doing so many things excellently. But when you attend a formal class, you learn formal ways of doing things excellently. So that doubled with the experience of Kuiriba and the streamlined education helps you to become an overachiever in so many things. I don't want to brag, but I'm an overachiever. So, and the formula is clear. The education is part of it. The documentation, writing, and all that is part of it. So when we were coming here with my colleagues, we have been debating about kickstarting a new startup to solve a problem for people who have achieved, like you here, who are like Doctor who bought her car as she was interning somewhere, but then they get faked for so many reasons. I mean, when you want to show us that you have achieved and you buy a car as a symbol of achievement, one of the things that might happen to you is being faked. Michael can tell you the first car he bought caused him a lot of trouble and debts. And because the people who sold it to him were fakes, they were crooks. They had no integrity. So we were thinking, and then we came up with something, and I don't think it is us, it is God in so many ways. So we came up with a brand called Motorcar Pro. Yeah? And Motorcar Pro is going to be a revolutionary in eliminating the thuggery that happens with brokers, because they only want to have money to convince nice-looking girls without thinking about the purpose they're supposed to have in society. So by the time we reached here, we had already bought our domain and we had already started registering our company, just on the way. But what does that have to do with all of us here? The Kuyiriba doesn't stop. Yeah, it doesn't. There is something new you can do every single day. And if you definitely really want to make it somehow, you really have to keep pushing a certain way. Why? We all don't even know what makes sense to all of us. But we know that we can do something every single day. So someone, still this was a related question about dropping work or studying. So the answer really connects to the same. If you're having a hustle somewhere, never drop it. Find time for that hustle every single day. And make sure you dedicate time to learning and building it to become a better thing. But if you have a double blessing that you have a chance to be in school at the same time as you hustle, and then I think you have to kneel down a little bit more in church every time. Why? Because it is not a very common thing. But in the new age, with all this information, you can find those opportunities for themselves. And the opportunities have nothing to being paid all the time, because that is where we get it wrong. I remember in my early days of service, teaching in Makerere for me was totally pro bono. I had the skills that not so many of my colleagues had, but I was offered an opportunity to lecture before I had a degree. I was 19 years, but because I knew too much of computer technology, I had a chance to be a lecturer, something that I'm still very proud of. And I don't remember being on the payroll any single day until when I left. But I was also able to access free internet in Makerere. So for the fact that Makerere and Bank of Uganda were the only few institutions that had fast internet, and working at High People required us to have very fast internet to support musicians and upload very heavy music videos for them in our Kuyiriba on the other side. I couldn't leave Makerere until when I could. I couldn't. So the day when I could afford my modem with Orange, I said goodbye to Makerere. And I've never returned. I didn't use Makerere. I served. I think I taught more than 3,000 students in my about 4 or 5 years. And I also taught many in adult learning classes at social science. And whenever they meet me, many of them are 30 years older than me. Whenever they meet me, they want to kneel down and thank me. Yet they don't owe me anything. I was supposed to serve. So please, if you have some work you're doing and you have a chance to have school fees, keep in school and work. And you'll sleep later if you don't have time to sleep. And lastly, to the person who asked about the Women in Fintech Hackathon, our websites are www.highpeople.com and www.highpeople.org. All digital-impact-awards.com. They are all available. We will have our 5th Women in Fintech Hackathon starting sometime in July. But also my number is 0779 34 53 31. So in case you need a link or personalized information, I am always happy to share with you and also to connect you to other people in our network. I thank you again, TIG Network, for inviting us, and for everyone for making time for this very interesting event. May God bless you. Wilfred.
Thank you so much. We now invite Wilfred from you respond to the question that was raised by one of the students.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. Someone asked a question that he wanted me to clarify about the professional bodies that I mentioned earlier. When I was starting my presentation in the morning, I said that I am here to share ideas, me and you. And just like my colleague, Innocent Kawoya, mentioned, that you only pick what is important for you. You don't have to pick everything. The professional bodies, these are organizations that bring together different professionals. For example, the lawyers, the Uganda Law Society, the Communicators, Public Relations Association of Uganda, the accountants, we have the Chartered Accountants Association of Uganda, the engineers, we have the Engineers Association of Uganda. So those bodies help to, one, connect you to different opportunities. Two, train you further. They give you more training. Three, they groom you. You can go there and you start volunteering. Personally, Mr. Innocent here can testify that I have volunteered with Public Relations Association of Uganda, and he's my elder brother, but I can also confirm that he's a very good Muiribi. He has Kuiribad this country, left, right, and center, and I am really, really very, very proud about him. And maybe the lady who was talking about the fintech and all that, the man is here. Those are the opportunities that I was talking about. Why do you go through a third party? The man is here. Go and discuss with him one-on-one. Go and tap into that opportunity. You never know, maybe the blessing of the Lord is with you today. And I think that is what I had to respond to. Someone asked about the AI. AI, you have to read. If you don't do the R, you are not going anywhere. You must read. You must do research. You must try to be innovative as a student, as a university. How can students how can I expand my social capital? You expanding your social capital, it is upon you. It is you. You are the problem to your own self. If you don't want to expand it, number one, try to, like I say, try to attend social gatherings. Join the Rotary clubs. We have Rotaract clubs here. Personally, I'm a Rotarian, by the way. I didn't mention it. I fellowship from the Rotary Club of Chitante. Join the Rotaract clubs. That's where you will find all professionals. But like how Doctor mentioned, that it's not a matter of you coming, you want to network. How are you networking? Like I said, you might network when you are just annoying people. So be careful on how you network. I don't think I'm going to be given an opportunity to speak again. So allow me to do this simple activity right now before the MC takes away the microphone from me. So I have taken over the MC for just 2 minutes. I have a small gift from UBC to hand over to the Vice Chancellor. And it is a very humble gift. And because one, it is the very first time that personally I am coming here. And when I was coming, the managing director told me that you need to find something to take to the university. We didn't have a budget. We didn't have what? And I'm like, what shall we do? But I said, time is essence. The clock is ticking each and every minute, and we must value time. So allow me to hand over officially this humble gift to the Vice Chancellor of Pentecostal University.
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. Amen. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilfred, and thank you for that humble gift that you've given to the VC. I hope you're having fun. And, as we are coming to the climax, before we head for our lunch, oh, Mr. Wilfred, Akatalekeka.
Akatalekeka, I am very sorry. I promised someone a gift here earlier in the morning. I also allow me to hand over this gift to the lady who is patiently waiting. Please come over. Yes, please come over. I had forgotten, but the Holy Spirit reminded me. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilfred. Somebody has just gotten themselves a token. Yes, like I was saying, as we are coming to the climax, I am going to invite the Guild President, Uganda Pentecostal University, to give a vote of thanks, and he will proceed to invite the Vice Chancellor of the university to give the final remarks. At this juncture, allow me welcome the Guild President.
Thank you, the MC. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest of honor, we are very happy today to receive you here. And again, we are happy that you have promised us that you are still with us. I wish tomorrow, the function we have, even you attend, of lawyers' dinner. So let me thank all the panelists that you have taught us something very interesting, and we are promising you that whenever you need us as students, by the way, these students, they have made something which is very interesting to be here, not because of any other thing, but to listen and learn from what you are telling us. We have appreciated, and as the MC has said, I'm a law student. I'm not the person who should call the Vice Chancellor to come and give remarks. I think the person who is in that capacity, to me, I may refer it to the academic registrar, since he's here. If he was not here, the dean student is here, the assistant. So me, I'm a student and a leader. However, I don't have that capacity to call the Vice Chancellor and address or give remarks. So let me not go far. Let me call the academic registrar to call our beloved Vice Chancellor to come and say a good remark to our visitors. Thank you very much.
Just a second. Let's not forget that this session, this event, has been or is live on our YouTube channels, and it's also going to be on UBC, so you can be able to catch it on the TIG Network Africa YouTube channel. It is also being shared on the Uganda Pentecostal University YouTube channel. Also, you can be able to catch the updates on our TIG Network Africa Twitter page. Thank you very much.
I thank you, our speakers, the students, and the staff members. Happy birthday to Professor Pelusi Taburechi. She is now 16 years old. Permit me to invite her to come and give a closing remarks to our speakers about today's event. You are most welcome, Professor.
Dr. Patricia Achano Kiria, actually my mentor behind the scenes. Mr. Wilfred Senyange, UBC Acting Manager Communication. Mr. Innocent Kaoya, I've watched so much on TV. I didn't know I'd get an opportunity to meet you in person. The CEO for High People, and Engineer Godfrey Angel. And all distinguished visitors who have joined us today. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Are you too hungry? Okay, I'll make my remarks short. Today is my birthday. I turned 16. And I was telling people I'll turn 15 next year. And really, this has been the best birthday gift for me. And of course, Mikigu, not that I forgot you and your team. When I'm doing this on behalf of our Chancellor and the Council and the Board. So TIG was first recognized by our Chancellor, Dr. Professor Maggie Kigozi, and he sent me the link and said, you have to get these people come to UPU. And I'm really excited that it has finally happened. Our guest of honor, ma'am, I think you have to clap for her more. She was groomed, and she was groomed by one and only Professor John Ntambirechi. He was one of her students. And as we know, all the eminent people we have met in this country were groomed by who? By Professor John Ntambirechi. We have refused to say late. He's still within us, as we heard from Engineer. God is within us, and the people we love are also within us. So it's such a privilege. Dr. Achana, I've always admired you. I didn't know I would have an opportunity to meet in person. I followed you, mostly because of the Christianity and the important work you do for the country. And not that others are not doing, but as it was mentioned, we are not very many ladies in these spaces. So when you recognize a lady who's moving places, it really inspires one. I have not a lot to say because a lot has been said already. But allow me to say that today was a very, very great day for us. As people, some of you are leaving us soon. And much as we nurture you here and we give you the skills that we can, the world out there is waiting for you, and you need to be ready for the ever-evolving world of work. So it's such a pleasure for us to partner with TIG. I like the philosophy of family from the young child to the adult, and a lot of generation is happening because we seem to be letting down that family element that is very critical for our being. So it is such a great pleasure and excitement for me to really thank you so much for the good, great advice that you are giving. And I think you should give them a really biggest applause because you don't into the Lord. And as mentioned before, with God, nothing is impossible. So as we gather here today, the theme is School to Workspace. This is one theme that we try as much as possible to inculcate you into the world of work. Many of you work at the courts, at the IGG's office. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you on their behalf. They take in our students and the courts. We try to put people in business and in all the journalists around also interface with us so that you really get to appreciate what is out there. So we are committed to providing you, our students, with more academic excellence, but also to keep involving partners and networks that can take you a notch higher from the theory that you learn here for 4 years, for 3 years, some of you, to excellence, whereby you bridge your learning here with the world of work. In other words, you bridge your lecture room with the workspace. So we're really excited today. Today's lessons, as you heard, where I hope you got opportunities, and everybody who is listening out there, to really get deeper into appreciating the concept of hard work. Personally, I think many of you may not know that through hard work, I worked for UNICEF for 15 years, and I worked in many, many countries, and I was also being sought after. When my sister was sharing, I could relate to some, and actually went to the same University of Pretoria. I did a short course there. So nothing comes just like that, and it was so well elaborated by Engineer Onjel. You really have to work hard at it. You have to excel. You have to go out there and look for opportunities. Again, as you pray, God who is in your heart to really open doors for you and make it possible if you know what you want and who you are. So as we conclude today, I would like to thank you so much for having turned up. A lot of people are not here. We have over 1,000 students, but they are all scattered in different places. But you are good representatives of your colleagues, so you go back and preach the message and get connected. At the graduation in February, we brought somebody about digitalization. And recently, I was the Vice Chancellor's Forum. Again, it was emphasized that if we don't embrace technology, we are going to remain behind. And already as a continent, we are remaining behind. So we were tasked actually as Vice Chancellors to ensure that we integrate technology in everything that we are doing. And many other people are working on how it can be limited, how it can be controlled. But when you read about AI, I don't think I'm an expert, but I've read a little bit about it. The world is evolving. The world is moving so fast that if we do not move with it, we shall remain behind. And everything we are learning is getting so much outdated, so much. And so we have to keep learning and relearning, making mistakes, and also moving ahead. So I would like to encourage all of you to participate as we've been told in work, not always to be paid, but to volunteer where you can, to change lives. My husband and I, all we have done our lifetime is to transform lives, is to change lives. And that's why this university is here. When he served different Makerere and other institutions, he felt he needed to come and change lives. And I think since 2005, Uganda Pentecostal University has transformed a lot of lives, and we want to continue doing that. So we need to get together, get connected. A lot of you are not even on X, which was formerly Twitter. You're not on LinkedIn. We are heavy these days on social media, but the membership is still small. So get connected, get involved, share stories, tell your stories out there so that you can be appreciated, but also the university can be appreciated. So I believe that together we can transform society, we can make a difference in lives if we all work together and if we keep learning and unlearning. and learning again. So I hope you got some good lessons, and Mr. Kigundu, thank you so much for making this happen and all the preparations behind the scene. We don't take it for granted. I know we spoke a few times, but I know it takes a lot of preparation to get such eminent people like this to come and join us today. So with those few words, I would like to thank you again for your time. I know exams are around the corner, and many of you should be in the library, but you are here, and this is the best library I think you could have gotten beyond your e-library and other courses that you do. For the benefit of our guests, we have 5 faculties here. We have business, we have journalism, we have IT, we have law, which is our niche. Quite a lot of students are lawyers, but also have business. And as Dr. Chan said, we are aspiring to start postgraduate studies as soon as we get a charter in the very, very near future. So I would like to thank my colleagues who are here today and all of you for coming. And as you go back, have safe travel, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Madam Vice Chancellor, for those closing remarks. And right now we are going in for a photo moment. But before the photo moment, let's have a closing prayer. Then I'll guide our guests and the dear students where we are going to take our photos from. We shall have a group photo, then we shall have photos with the guests at the press banner right there. My co-moderator, you can possibly give us the closing prayer.
Since my senior in the spirit is here, please let me request him to give us a closing word of prayer. Engineer, you're most welcome.
I've been ambushed. In fact, my mode of prayer is always to keep quiet. You hold your heart and listen to your heartbeat, and then at the end you say amen, then everybody say amen. Now, I don't know whether that would be okay for you. So, can we all stand up and hold our hearts? If your heart is not beating, you let me know, so that we can call a doctor. Okay, let's go into our hearts. By the way, when you go there, don't think about the lunch, okay? Don't think about your exam. Just drop yourself into the heart and keep quiet there. Amen.
Thank you so much.
So now we are going for a photo moment.
Where are we going to have it?
I need y'all to run down here. Come on, let me see you.